Hey guys, I wanted to make this video today to share more about my personal journey with healing my emotional eating in hopes that it brings light and healing to your own. I'm Jessica Procini, the founder and creator of Escape from Emotional Eating, and I help busy, successful, driven women use food as fuel instead of a way to cope, soothe, or escape their busy, stressful lives. For as long as I can remember, food was my safety blanket. After a long, stressful day, I would walk through the door, not even take my coat off, and go right to the pantry. I would fill myself with just about as much dark chocolate as I could get my hands on to numb, soothe, and escape how overwhelming and stressful I found my life to be. But the truth is that this wasn't just happening with dark chocolate. This would happen with things like bread, potato chips, French fries, even healthy food like granola. I was always thinking about food, and I was always trying to find a way to control and just have this normal relationship with food. I always felt magnetized to it, and literally for as long as I can remember, I had always struggled in my relationship with food. I remember trying to talk to my friends about it, and they would sort of shrug me off and be like, "Oh, Jessica, everyone does that. Everyone overeats." And then we would sign up for a workout class the next day in hopes to burn off whatever I'd overeaten. I remember trying to talk to my partner at the time, and he said something like, "Oh, Jessica, I'll love you no matter what size you are," which is amazing and everything that we want our partners to say. But what really boggled my mind was how could he love me when all I wanted to do was crawl out of my own skin? And I remember trying to seek help in professionals and therapists, but they just wanted to write me a prescription for antidepressants and send me on my way. I was really clear and certain I was already using food as a way to numb myself, and I didn't want to use another method like medication to continue to be numb. I just didn't want to be numb anymore. And I remember feeling like my last resort was Overeaters Anonymous, which felt too triggering and way too overwhelming to attend. I come from a long history of alcoholics, and going there just could never get myself to stay in the room. So at that point, I remember just feeling deeply misunderstood, very hopeless, and very, very, very much alone. And I remember at that point, as dark and difficult as that time was in my life, I remember feeling like there just has to be a better way. Like there just has to be another option. And that's when I dedicated myself to investigating every single nook and cranny of my relationship with food. The physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. And after 10 years, over a decade of research and deep, heartfelt investigation, I found answers. I found the roots of my emotional eating, and I found answers that no one else was talking about. And there were three major things that really created a dramatic shift in my healing journey. The first one was the realization that I was an emotional eater. And with that realization was the realization that all of the diets, exercise, meal plans, portion control that I had tried in the past were complete mismatches because they were never getting to the roots of why I was eating and what was really going on. It was also a shock to me because for my emotional eating, I wasn't eating 10 bags of potato chips, and I didn't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds to lose. But what was my emotional eating was why I was eating. And I was eating to numb, soothe, and escape my busy, stressful life. And I had pretty much done that my entire life. The second thing that really shifted things for me was the realization that I was using food as a way to cope, soothe, and escape my anxiety, my stress, and my overwhelm. And with that, the realization of how emotionally unhealthy I really was. I was around 30 years old at the time, and I was basically the emotional age of a 6-year-old. I had no emotional fitness, no emotional stamina. I was deeply, deeply emotionally unhealthy. And then the third thing that I realized, and I'm super dedicated to, is that as emotional eaters, we have to do things differently. We have to do things differently and get to the roots of our relationship with food so that we can heal them. And only when we do that can we be free. So when I put those pieces in place and I walk my now talk, things actually dramatically changed. They shifted in such a big way, so much that now, here today, it's been almost 4 years since I have emotionally eaten or even overeaten, which feels like such a bold claim compared to where I was coming from. Now, food is fuel to me, a nourishing asset to my body, to my mind, to my soul, and to my life. I no longer lunge for it when I feel stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed. I know now how to manage, to process, to feel my feelings, but ultimately also to how to transform my feelings and how I feel. Food is still very much a love of my life, but the way that I love it is very different. And all in all, over the years, I've lost over 45 pounds of both physical and emotional weight. Things are so different now. And all of this entire journey is what has brought me to my work today with Escape from Emotional Eating and the year-long transformational coaching programs, my retreats called The Escape, and my various talks, workshops, and videos like this one. So if you use food, if you eat when you're stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, I want to invite you to go to escapefromemotionaleating.com and take the free quiz to find out what you can do about this. Now, if you already know you're an emotional eater, I invite you to take the quiz at escapefromemotionaleating.com anyway, because you may find something out there that's new that'll make all the difference. Either way, you must know that you do not have to live with emotional eating for the rest of your life. You can escape it. I did, and I know that you can too. So that's all for today. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe so you never miss a video. And I'll see you over on escapefromemotionaleating.com. Take care. Bye.